I ended my last stream thinking that the deliberation would take 2 weeks. If they were debating. They weren't debating at all. This shit got done in 3 hours. I should have stayed live. This got done in 3 hours.
And the problem with
She's
that,
guilty.
I think, Alec,
Now for the lesser charge. The main charge. So let's see what happened.
foreseeable.
I just got it.
Insurance offers for
for her to be allowed to be out pending sentencing. I would ask.
insurance offers for these.
Verdict reached after 2.5 hours. That's not good. That means she's automatically guilty.
All right, so let me repeat. I said, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, through the foreperson, have you reached a verdict?
Yes.
All right, and do you wish to read the verdicts?
Sure.
Okay. I will start with count one. Okay. Will the defendant please stand?
We find the defendant, Alec Gutierrez, guilty of involuntary manslaughter as charged in count 1. We find the defendant, Alec Gutierrez, not guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in count 2.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. Let me get those forms, retrieve those forms from you. I'm going to do what's called polling the jury. What I need to put on the record is that this is your individual verdict, okay? So I'm going to start with the gentleman in the back. Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Sir, is this
She
your
looks
verdict?
high, but like
Sir,
now
is this
she's
your
like,
verdict?
wow.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Sir, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Oh my god, I should have stayed live. I didn't know it was gonna be that quick. They wanted to get the fuck out of there for spring break or holiday something. That bitch got a fucking verdict quick. Or why am I typing in Rust? Fucking idiot. Kick. There we go. I'm getting off in a second, guys. I just wanted to
Ma'am, is this
get
your
this.
verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Ma'am, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Ma'am, is this your verdict? Okay, thank you. All right, so
I knew
you
it.
completed your service.
I knew it. I told everyone.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a long trial. People may want to talk to you. You know, this has pretty much a lot of publicity, and you don't have to. Okay, so you can just simply say do not wish to talk and move on. And if anybody bothers you, we really try to protect your privacy. If anybody bothers you, simply call my division, and we'll figure out what to do. But you also may talk. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. Okay. All right. So you can escort them out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
George. Just a minute. Ryan.
She's going to jail for 3 years. That's it. That's it.
You should probably stay here, but I want to hear you walk them all.
Smirk. Dirt. What are the comments saying? Why can't I read the comments? The live comments. It sucks.
All right.
It's because they kept it live.
All right. Is there anything that the state's requesting based upon the verdict?
We would request that Ms. Gutierrez be taken into custody.
Mr. Bowles?
Yeah, we would request under pull up the rule, Your Honor.
She appeal it.
Yeah, Rule 5402, release pending sentencing. In this court's discretion, under the same conditions or other conditions as this court would deem necessary. Ms. Gutierrez has been on conditions. She has not violated those conditions. She has voluntarily appeared at all court proceedings. Your Honor, I would request this court to continue conditions or whatever conditions this court would have on release.
All right, thank you. I'm going to remand you. The reason why I'm going to remand you is you are now convicted. And so, and this is a death. It's a criminal negligence, but it's still a death. And so, deputies, you're going to take her into custody and we will set a sentencing date. What is the best, what do you want to look like on that? And we need an order of remand. Okay. Counsel?
In terms of the sentencing date?
Yes.
At the court's convenience will be available. There are 2 weeks in May that I'm not available. Those are the last 2 weeks of May.
Who wanted cameras in here? The defense?
Your Honor, as soon as this court has time, we will be available.
All right, so do you have any conflict like that? She said May. Do you have any conflict?
I don't know for sure, Your Honor, that I can. I do have other trials, but I think mid-May.
Well, I can do it sooner.
Okay.
I just wondered if you had any conflicts along the way.
I doesn't look like mid-May, Your Honor. I do. I don't think I have any conflicts.
Well, I'm sorry, not understanding. Do you have, okay, we're in March. Do you have time before May?
We have time in April.
Okay. Sure. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else before the court?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. We're in recess. Thank you.
Shitty fucking lawyers. I told you she was guilty, bro. The fucking jury's seeing right through it, bro. Robin in the chat, like, no, she looks like my ex. She's not guilty. All these people like, she's not guilty, no. That bitch guilty as hell.
I got my first Botox cosmetic treatment on a lunch break. The treatment itself probably
Voluntary
took...
manslaughter and also not guilty for the tampering with evidence charge.
I don't want to watch that.
I think it was spot on, and I think I would have found her guilty. All of the evidence was there. I got the tampering charge again. I've said this time and time again. I hate to use the word bogus, but I don't know whatever common term to use. There was no way that they could prove that there was cocaine in that packet. I would have been objecting all over the place to all of the evidence, the questioning, testimony that was put forth with respect to that. But again. The only thing that I believe Hannah Gutierrez really had to do was check those bullets, take the time to check those bullets. It wouldn't have taken her 55 seconds. It wouldn't have taken her 2 minutes, but her life could have been saved that day. And I think that's what it comes down to, those couple of minutes right before she passed off the gun. Everything else that happened is just, it's just extra ancillary. It's the fact that she should have taken the time to check. She wasn't under any pressure at that moment. She did not take the time. It's sad, it's unfortunate, it's gutting, but this is what it is. I also think she was in over her head. I don't think she should have had this position. And that goes to show, that's evidence by how irresponsible, how sloppy she was on set, how disorganized she was on set.
Congressman Brown, I want to get your opinion, your reaction to this verdict of guilt. What do you think? We're having
She pled not guilty with the jury.
On the last point that my colleague said, about, and I agree with her that I don't believe Gutierrez really should have had this job. I think it was a job that she got because of who her dad was. And that is not a good thing for Alec Baldwin, because that is going to be part of the thing. She have this young lady, she's a very young lady, she should have this responsibility to have people's lives in her hands, especially how she was conducting herself. And that's, I hate to bring it back to Alec Baldwin, but this is kind of a win for him, but depends what the prosecution is going to do with regards to how they're going to handle it. But I also agree with my colleague in the sense that, there's a lot of evidence that Gutierrez Reed was dealing with, but consuming drugs and alcohol when she should have been a serious person. It reminds me of that scene in Confession where the father was telling the kids, like, you're not serious people. And I don't think she acted like a serious person that was required of her for the magnitude of what she was doing.
Right, and that question of whether she was qualified for the job will ultimately be something that those in production will have to answer. And those in production, of course, in this case, would be Alec Baldwin, who, of course, faces his own involuntary manslaughter charge and potentially his own trial coming up. And I think that's going to be an issue that's going to be brought by the prosecutor, the same prosecutor who was involved in this case, the prosecutor Morrissey there. But we're going to now take it back a few minutes ago to when this verdict of guilt was read, in case you missed it. So let's take a look at a clip of this verdict being read.
I'm going to go live, guys.
Let's take a look.
Defendant Hannah Gutierrez, guilty of involuntary manslaughter as charged.